Greetings, Gamma Guys and Gamma Gals. It is I, your most sensational She-Hulk, and a funny thing happened to me today. I walked into this store and thought I had died. However, when I came to pick myself up off the floor, I realized that I wasn't in heaven. I was just in comic book heaven. Here I am at Mile High Comics in Denver, Colorado, the largest comic book store in the US. It is incredibly exciting here. There's over 6 million comics. So let's have a look around and see what's going on. What's bigger than a She-Hulk? Why, this 20-foot-tall Sentinel behind me. It's unusual to find things this large in your local comic book store, and that's just one of the things that makes it really cool to come here. Now, these guys look a little bit more my size. There's toys here and collectibles as far as the eye can see. So it's not just comics you're gonna find when you come here to Mile High. So I was lucky enough to be led back here into this enormous labyrinth of back issues that's not usually accessible to the public. This is incredible. It's really cool, and it's a great chance to see something a little different. So tell me some other things that are a little bit different and why people know what Mile High Comics is.
Well, the most common thing that I hear about people knowing about Mile High Comics comes from the mid-'80s. We used to actually have ads in every Marvel comic that was published. And you would see our mail order catalog, and a lot of people, that was like their dream checklist for comics before the internet and before stuff like that.
And the other thing that's cool is that they offered back issues in different condition. So even if maybe you couldn't afford to buy the mint version of the comic you wanted, if they had it available in something else, you could also order it for a better price.
Absolutely. We have the whole spectrum of grades for comics, and we're always willing to hear people's viewpoints on grading standards and stuff. Our website also has a breakdown if you really don't know a whole lot about grading as a collector but you want to learn. We put our standards in print on our website.
That sounds like a fantastic resource.
Absolutely, and we also tell people kind of what to look for so that they can grade their own collections and kind of get an estimate of where it's going to fall.
Awesome, let's go take a look around and see what else we've got here.
Absolutely.
With so many comics on hand, how do you organize everything? This is just overwhelming.
Well, it's actually a pretty basic process. We take a raw box of comics, we split it up by the first letter of the title, and then we'll go through each letter of the alphabet and lay out title cards such as these, and then take all of the boxes labeled "This is R right now," and we'll file all the R comics we can round up at once.
How much time would you say per day do you guys spend sorting? Do you have nightmares about sorting comics?
You kind of go numb to it after a while. Some people just cannot handle that kind of function, and then some people can't stop.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I would get addicted to doing and just be doing it all day.
You think that there's an end, like you get this idea, if I just keep going, I'll finish this and we'll be done, but we have too much inventory to ever really finish.
Obviously you guys I've seen you out at conventions, so you guys go out and do special events and things like comic book conventions. What does a setup like that take?
We actually have custom built our own convention booth that's 10 feet deep and 70 feet wide. Some upright file drawers, and have refabricated them with rolling caster wheels, and pretty much the equivalent of most people's entire comic book store to a convention, and delivered by semi. And they're pretty heavy cabinets, so we have learned that definitely 2 men per cabinet is the best way.
Way to go. Awesome. Or one She-Hulk, you know.
Absolutely. We had a She-Hulk moving us out to San Diego, then we might only need that. So,
Awesome. Let's check out some other stuff.
absolutely.
Mile High has one of the most impressive collections of independent comics, from Charlton to Gold Key to Dell and many more that I've never even heard of. There's an insane amount of stuff that you can get lost in.
My little lady. She's like, I really don't want you to pick me up again, crazy green lady. I didn't sign up for this.
Here you'll find the super collectibles, the very essence of comics, things that unfortunately I probably can't ever afford, but it's so cool to get the chance to see them in the flesh. One of my favorite things that I saw here was this Marvel Fitness book, which of course has my cousin in it, showing us how to work out with a couple of dumbbells, Spidey doing some pretty crazy looking stretches, and Medusa just seems to be fluffing her hair out. So sadly, it is time for me to leave. I managed to contain myself and get just a few comics and only one collectible. Of course, it's a She-Hulk. I wanted to thank you so much for having me in.
Absolutely.
It was a wonderful experience. And one of the things that I can say that makes this store so different than everywhere else, it's obviously intimidating to any person walking in here, whether you're a fan of comics or not, whether you know what you're looking for or not. But everybody in here was so helpful to me, was so nice. Very different than a lot of the comic book shops you go into, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you kind of get like, you know, the side eye, or you get snubbed. Here, everybody was just so nice to not only me, but the rest of my family that came to visit, and I was really thankful that you guys were let me in and let me sneak around a little bit with you.
Well, I'm glad you had a good experience, and I hope you come back to visit whenever you're in town.
Oh, I definitely will, and I absolutely recommend to anybody else that is in Denver or is near Denver, it is worth the trip to come on over here and stop by just to see it, just to experience it. Thanks, guys.
Boom, I'm a bum, I'm a get my bum. I'm a bum, I'm a get my bum. I bring the beauty, the brains, and the brawn. Never shit like my song. Boom, I'm a bum, I'm a get my bum. I'm a bum, I'm a get my bum.